everybody. I want to talk to you about Evil Dead, the remake. Now, you got Evil Dead Rise, right? Rise, it's a high rise, Rise. Saw that movie once, and before that, I saw in light of the new Evil Dead, I saw the remake. If you have to say which one is gorier, both have gore, plenty of gore, but remember, gore that stayed in my head, that I can remember that is basically in the second movie is the cheese grater thing, and the guy getting his eye plucked out or something, and that's the only scene that I thought, ooh, that was, you got gory scenes, but nothing you've seen before. And also, but that's, I'm gonna review that one and I'm gonna give you my thoughts. But Evil Dead remake, basically the remake from the first one, you go to an isolated cabin in the middle of nowhere. Funny fact is you can see Bruce Campbell's car, his car, but sitting there in the near the cabin, rotting away, but it's his car. So as a fun fact, it's made by director Fede Alvarez, written by him, and also written by Sam Raimi and a other writer too. I don't know his name. So two big writers. You've got a few people. So you got like 5 people. You got Mia, played by Jane Levy, who's the drug addicted girl, and that's why they're going to this remote cabin. You've got a nurse there that works with drug addicts. She's going to be there to guide her to those withdrawal symptoms. Her boyfriend's Eric, played by a guy named, I don't know what he did, Lou Taylor Pokey, yeah. And her brother, Shyla Fernandez, called David, that's her brother, and he has his girlfriend too. So 5 people. Now, of course, she starts to get withdrawals, and she wants to do everything for drugs, and she tries to run away, things like that. She eventually runs away. Now, because of her withdrawals, she has this extreme smelling. She can smell a lot more. That's because of her withdrawal. She's like, really, everything is sensitive, and she smells something. And they open the basement door, and you can see they're all dead cats hanging. Now, before I'm gonna spoil the movie also starts with a dad and her daughter being catched by these locals, deformed and things like that. And there's this voodoo-like witch almost. Is this little woman, ugly woman, that is talking that he has to kill her now, purify her with fire and things like that. And eventually the dead-eyed girl is trying to, be herself and say, "Daddy, help me. You killed mom. You killed mom." And then she says she's with the devil now or something, or a fucking devil now in her eyes. The eyes, she becomes a dead eye. They put her on fire. The other one, the voodoo witch chanting and things like that. And that's why they hang cats for a reason. It's maybe a catalyst, or it's catalyst to hold back evil. They actually binded the book of dead, the Necronomicon book, right? With barbed wire, and it can be torched. It's unflammable. You can't put it on fire. Um, and it's binded with barbed wire and things like that. But then, of course, in the first movie, it's more simple. If they find a tape where the guy was researching it in that cabin, and then he starts to chant. But then, okay, he starts to chant out of nowhere, and things get fucked up for the girl that wanders about. You always have a girl that's um, more she's the ones that are weaker, they inhabit the weaker spirits, the easier the mindset, the lower, the depressed mindset or something, it gets in there. For some reason, the guys in these movies aren't as they are more resistant to become a Deadite in some ways. I'm not trying to be sexist, but it is because one, for example, gets bitten and becomes one. One just gets the Deadite in her head and she becomes one. Of course, Mia becomes one, the drug addicted girl, because she has these withdrawal systems. It's withdrawal symptoms. It's easier to get through. It's the same kind of scene as in the original one, where the force comes alive and it starts to rape her or penetrate her in a way. And when they take her back, she's showing these weird signs, like standing underneath a shower, super warm, heat, water, boiling shower, and they take her and she's standing just there, like underneath the shower. But this movie, in my opinion, has more gore and more epic gore. Now, the entire reason why the Deadites are coming is because of Eric, the boyfriend from the nurse. He finds a book, he's intrigued, opens it with pliers, and then he sees the pictures of demons, things like that, and he decides to translate a chant. He, of course, does the chant which we heard on the original one on the tape. Of course, then things get fucked up, and the Deadite takes Mia as the first one to go. Now, Mia starts to become this Deadite demon. Everything goes to shit. Eventually, they close her down in this cellar room and put something on there with locks and things like that. The nurse is completely shocked. She goes to the bathroom. She wants to take some Vicodin, closes the glass, and she's her reflection as a Deadite. And here, and I always refer him to the glasses guy, Eric. So this guy has some coincidences, some coincidence. I mean, the guy survives 5 people from 3 slasher movies from 1981, Halloween 2, Friday 13th Part 2, and My Bloody Valentine. What do I mean about that? Like, this guy, probably because he chanted, is a poor sap, and he basically gets the biggest punishment of the entire movie of hit by things, stabbed by things. So the first stabbing happens when he finds his girlfriend peeling off her face as a Deadite. He falls over. I think he falls on a toilet or a bidet or something, and he breaks off, so his back is already hurt. She fucking takes a syringe and starts to fucking poke him everywhere in the face, in his eye, around his eye. Luckily not his eyeball. But remember, in Halloween 2, Dr. Mixture died with 1 stab here, and then the nurse dies with 1 stab here with a syringe. Granted, he puts air in it, he pushes the air out, but he gets like 20-30 stabs, same place around the eye. He survives that. Okay, in Halloween 2, they only had one stab and it was enough. Then the guy at that time, the girlfriend of David, the brother of Mia, is bitten or scratched, and she sees things getting black, and she knows it's infected, and she saws her own, like with a turkey saw, to cut meat. She saws it off, and then you see her standing there with the arm still hanging on a ligament, and it falls off. Really pretty gory. And eventually she croaks, becomes a deadite, or she passes out and becomes a deadite. Then you get this scene where the deadite picks up a crowbar, first attacks David with it, but then Eric, and that you have to give that to Eric. He's brave, he pushes David away, but he becomes the center of attention for the deadite. The deadite starts to hit him with the crowbar so hard that he's pulling his hand like this to protect his face. It's hit, with the pointy end of the crowbar, hits him here. The hand just splits open. Then it hits him in the head multiple times. You can see the crowbar getting in and things like that. Now, if you remember Friday the 13th Part 2 and Halloween Part 2, where in Friday the 13th Part 2, the deputy or sheriff gets a pointy end of a hammer, one hit in the back of his head, he dies. Halloween 2, same with the security guard, but he gets in the front of the head, he dies. This one gets like multiple hits, like really fast. He survives. So eventually they kill her, but okay, he's still talking and saying you have to purify the place, you have to set it on fire and blah 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 blah. But he's still talking. Then the deadite, the one-armed girl, isn't dead yet, and she picks up a nail gun, like this nail gun with a clip in it, and now she starts to fire it at Eric, hitting him in the arm, blasting in his arm against the face, then going up, and then just 10 nails in his fucking face. If you've seen My Bloody Valentine, the uncensored cut, there is this scene where Hollis, the bigger guy, the fatter guy, the mediator between TJ and Axel, were always trying to fight. He was one of the likable characters. He gets this nail gun. You click open. The figurine from the miner has the nail gun too. Put one nail in it, shoots one here, and then a second one shoots one here. He dies from that. He wanders off and then dies. This guy gets like 10 fucking nails in his face. So that's just, okay, he survived like 5 people's death in 3 1981 horror slasher movies. It's just, and then when David decides to do his thing, he he bands these needles together with tranquilizer, and he wants to tranquilize his sister, and then eventually the deadite jumps on him with a potato peeler knife, and who's saving him? Eric again, pulling her away, or I think he puts the tranquilizer. I'm not sure who puts the tranquilizer in her. Maybe I think it's Eric, but she goes down, and he is like, and the potato killed. He eventually dies by a potato peeler knife in his gut. All that punishment, the potato peeler killed the guy. That's actually sort of funny. Just one potato knife stab killed him. bam, gone is Eric, he croaks. Eventually, you know, he gets Mia back by basically burying her, waiting long enough that she's dead, unburying her, and uses the a sort of self-made defibrillator and with metal pins and puts in her heart and tries to revive her. Lightning hits the tree and she's alive again. After that, David dies because Eric now is a deadite. Took long enough, and he kills. He jams something in his throat, and he dies gurgling, saying, "Burn the place down" or something. He says, "Do it," and eventually he becomes a deadite too. You can see him becoming one really fast because he's dead, and the eyes immediately, glow up and things like that. Now Mia is back again, and actually Sienna from the Terrifier in Terrifier 2 took a lot from Mia because she went through hell and back again, and then went through hell again, fighting the deadite that comes out of the ground, the main deadite, sort of the demon, the devil, like Satan. She's being stabbed, a car flips over her hand, and she has to rip her hand off, her arm off, and she eventually kills it with a chainsaw. And a really cool scene where she puts this chainsaw in I think, in the body or in the face, and she starts to jam it with one arm gone, and it's a cool scene. And if you see then she, everything lightens up. It's daytime again, sun shining. She wanders away, but I think when you wait after the credits, there's this scene where she's crawling on a highway, on a way, a road where driving cars. Somebody takes her. One takes her to the hospital. Then she closes her eyes and then opens it and they do a close up of the eyes like she's still possessed. The movie ends. And I actually didn't want that because she went through hell and she came back. So yeah, okay, that was a scene, a suggestive scene, right? It's not really that she's gonna become a deadite, but it's suggested, right? The movie's rather entertaining. If you like gore, it's entertaining. There's a few different takes here because you think the brother is gonna become the new Ash, but no, he's not gonna be the final guy. He's gonna be a final girl. Mia's coming back, and she's gonna enter Deadites, the main Deadite that comes out of the ground. She sets the place on fire, purifying it, killing the other Deadites, but it's like Satan, or a right hand of Satan that comes out of the ground. So a stronger Deadite. And she has to kill it, losing an arm during it, being stabbed multiple times with a machete, or sliced by a machete, not stabbed but sliced, because she's hiding behind a wall and the Deadite's using this machete to poke her out of it, It's a good movie, it's a good remake. It's not as good as the original because the OG still is the OG, in my opinion, but it has some cool scenes. It has that twist at the end, and really gory scenes, especially the glasses guy. He gets it. Like I say, he survives 5 people in 5 different horror movies, and they only get hit once, or worst case scenario twice, and he gets hit times 10, 20, 30 even. They're jamming it really fast, they're like really angry, and it's a funny coincidence, you know. If you see if you know those movies, you know, okay, he survived for a very long time, and eventually a potato peel or knife gets him. It's funny in a way, right? Uh, Sad but funny in a way also. Also, so yeah, I mean, I'll recommend it. I'm gonna give it a um, 6.5. I think it's better than the second one. So if you like Evil Dead, if you like the whole Deadeye thing and the gore and things like that, and you're a horror fan, you never seen this one, go watch it because it's a cool movie. And then watch Evil Dead Rise, and then compare it, and then you can. I'm gonna do the review of the second one and tell you why I sort of disliked it, but this one is worth a watch. So give it a watch. See you next time. Bye bye.